All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for everybody who's joining. And of course, this will be recorded and sent out to everyone who has registered. So we have quite a few people who did register for this event, although sometimes you have a classroom and you have to present to that classroom and get the workday over. Save this video for another day to share to your students, and it's completely okay. I'm going to send this over as long as it's slide deck as well, so that way you can promote and share this with your connections. So welcome everybody to the K through 12's work group webinar. This is the month of March, and our topic is going to be over the CDL truck driver pathway. So let's go ahead and get started. So these work groups are going to be intended for educators and staff. So our target audience is going to be teachers and counselors, caseworkers, managers. Our goal is really to bring together these campus contacts with these employer contacts, so that way they can come up with a pipeline straight out of high school and make those connections. A lot of times what we hear is there's a gap of information. I don't know who to contact, and I need people to come to the school. And then you have the employers saying, well, I need to get into the schools. Who can I contact? Who can I present to? You know, we need people to hire. So hopefully with all of these work groups, our initiatives, we connect those people and create those networks so that way they can have those connections together. So our webinar is run monthly throughout the calendar school year. So ours will stop in May of this year. It will pick back up in August of the fall of 2022. So this month's topic is going to be the trucking and CDL driver pathway. So our schedule today, we got the LMI data that I'm about to go over with you guys right now. Then we're going to have our guest speakers going to go ahead and present over their program and what they offer. And then we'll also have an alumni with that program to talk a little bit about his experience with them and what he does. Then we'll have time for questions. So again, utilize that chat box to go ahead and write down any of your questions. And then at the end, we'll go ahead and wrap it up with the announcements and of course our social media. And thank you for your time. So getting right into the LMI data. So this occupation spotlight, as you can see here, we got total facts and numbers available for you guys. So 100%, you've got to have that CDL certificate in order to become a CDL driver. You can't just get in the car and start going. 5 out of 10 truck drivers have a high school diploma or less. So this is something that is very, optional for somebody who is coming right out of the workforce, somebody who's maybe obtained their GED or high school diplomas are ready to go straight into the workforce. We also have looked at jobs ads, and right now that's a little under 3,000 that are available online. Truck drivers, 92% of them are male. So we are looking for more females to get into this occupation and, show what we can do as females. And you can see here to the right, we have this graph. This is all going to be coming from the Labor Insight. So this is the past 12 months in the Austin MSA area. So this is going to be like Austin, Travis County, capital area. There you can see kind of just the highlight of, this occupation, what we're seeing here. So you got February of 2021, and then we're going back into this past month of February 2022. Wages and growth for this pathway. So looking at the average wage, we're seeing hourly about $20.59, and then the salary being $42,800. Now, this is just to be base pay. This is not to say this is not as the cap that you can make, because you could totally go into overtime and pick up additional hours and make more than this amount. Truck drivers are employed. We looked at this in the area, and it's a little over 10,000 of truck drivers that are actually employed here in this area. And then the projected demand for the next 10 years is pretty good. It looks like 16,000 job openings will be happening throughout that time. And then if we look at the annual growth rate for the CDL truck driver pathway, we're looking at a 2.7% of annual growth rate. If you look here to the right, we have our top employers that we pulled from Labor Insight, and you will see here like all the ads that we're seeing them on, who they're looking for, who's hiring. We saw a lot of higher bonuses for up to $15,000 because they're needing CDL drivers. They're needing to transport their goods and make that deliveries to their customers. So this is something that could be very lucrative for some of your students who are interested in driving and logistics. All right, so going into more so, well, what does a CDL driver do? So they transport goods from locations to another. So they'll pick up one area and then they'll transport it to another. And this could be something super short, or it could be something that's across the United States. So it could be state to state or across the United States. So they do drive long distance, to say that in a so there does need somebody who is able to, come into that area, safely for that long-term period of time. If there is anything that happens, they need to be able to report those incidents and make sure that they are communicating with their dispatcher, their manager, and then of course, just following all traffic laws. You know, we definitely don't want our high racer, speeder, you know, someone who's driving reckless. We want somebody who's a safe driver. And of course, a lot of these things can be taught when they do get their CDL in school. So they do also inspect the cargo that they are loading, you know, before and after a trip, because, you know, they are responsible for that load from and to where they're dropping it off. Just like anything that we would be taking, you want to make sure that it is, you know, in the same shape and form that you had it when you picked it up. So right now, looking in this area, when we pulled 500 job openings for the truck driver CDL in the Capital Metroplex area. So we'll also go ahead and move into our guest speaker, and our highlight is going to be from Changing Lanes CDL School. So our person for our first guest speaker is going to be the director of Changing Lanes CDL School, and we have Delbert Crawford, and I'll go ahead and allow him to speak so that way he can present about his school and what they offer and how your students can go ahead and get started. So Delbert, the floor is yours. Let me know when you want me to go to the next slide, and I'll be sure to click that for you.
Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, I want to thank Workforce Solutions for having me here, being able to present to you all. My name is Delbert Crawford, and I am the school director of Changing Lanes CDL School. So usually when someone asks what I do, I say I am a transportation relocation engineer. And then I get a confused face, and I say, "Oh, I'm just a truck driver." And they're like, "Oh, okay." So today I do have an alumni with me. He's right here to my right, who graduated and made some pretty good money. So you will hear from him later. So let's get this party started. So in order to go to a state licensed school, you have to have a Texas driver's license. You have to have a high school diploma or equivalent, whether it be GED, and I'm hearing that you can do the Wonderlic test as well. You have to be able to pass a DOT drug test and DOT physical, meaning if you have diabetes, that does not disqualify you. You just have to switch from the insulin to the pill. You have to be able to read and write and effectively communicate in English per FMCSA rules. FMCSA is Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. That's who regulates all of the truck drivers, trucking companies, shipping companies, dispatching companies, that's everything. You have to have a number. Just like you have a driver's license number, I have a number that shows what my trucks belong to. All right, those are the prerequisites. So we are the only school now in the Austin area that offers weekend courses for the working adult, but I see some, but I'm trying to get into the high schools for the students that are in high school. You have to be 18, 18 and above. My oldest student was 74. My youngest student was 18. So I think Congress just did pass a law where 18-year-olds can cross state lines. However, it's safe to say that they are able to make very good money by staying in state. There's intrastate and interstate. Interstate highway system means between two states, like internet. Some businesses use internet, some businesses utilize intranet, meaning their own internet. So that means it's within the business. All right, next slide, please. So we offer 180 hours of training. That is 45 hours in the classroom. That is theory. And we do really over 135 hands-on backing, driving, behind the wheel. The new law did come into effect February 7th, where everyone who wants to go to a truck driving school or wants you to get a CDL, they have to go to a state and federally approved school. I am both. So in first week, you would get your learner's permit. you will study the book. It is a pretty thick book, but if you apply yourself, you can get it done. Also, the physical, we are the only school that has a doctor that comes to the school. We have our own in-house doctor, a certified doctor, chiropractor, that comes and does physicals to make it convenient for the students so they won't have to run around all town wasting gas as high as it is right now. So the doctor comes and he performs the physicals here. So the comprehensive training include the following: pre-trip inspection. Pre-trip inspection is very, very, very important, because pre-trip inspection, if you catch something big enough, if you catch something early enough, it could cost $50, whereas down the line, it'll cost $5,000. Even if you are a company driver, you still want to be able to make sure that the company is aware, because if that's your truck, if your wheels aren't rolling, you aren't making any money. Simple as that. We're the only school that does 5 backing skills. We did include another one, which is the alley dock. The 5 backing skills is straight line backing, where you just back up straight. We have left, right offset and left, right parallel. Now, a lot of people can't parallel in the car. So imagine paralleling in a semi truck. So it is very easy. You just have to apply yourself. So the alley dock is the one that you are going to use the most if you're on the road. It is a non-testable skill, but we are the only school that does 6 backing skills. We go above and beyond what training is required, just to make sure that you are prepared for your career, not just to get a CDL. On the road training, that is the last and final week that you are with us, because 9 times out of 10, the trailer is going to follow the truck. If you go straight, the trailer is going to go straight. If you go right, the trailer is going to follow the truck. Go left, same thing. All right, next slide, please. So we students can fill out pre-hire forms with potential employees before they even graduate with their CDL. We have had students to get hired before they graduate. Some of the potential employers are Texas Concrete, Lawn Concrete, Melton Truck Lines, JB Hunt, Gordon Food Services, Bluebell Ice Cream, or Bluebell Creameries, and a host of many others. If you want to stay local, Texas Concrete is a worldwide company where you can transfer it anywhere in the world. Lawn Concrete is a locally owned company. They're the biggest locally owned concrete company. Melton Truck Lines, they're based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's flatbed. If you don't want to go to the gym, guess what? You're gonna be on that flatbed. That is your gym. Jumping in off that truck, tarping loads. Those tarps weigh 100 pounds, at least 100 pounds. JB Hunt, we have, actually my student works at JB Hunt. And I have another student that just called me this morning. He's home every day with JB Hunt. I believe that's the final mile, where big stuff ships across the country, but they can't have a big truck coming to a neighborhood, so they have a box truck, JB Hunt box truck. So same thing. That's called the final mile. Gordon Food Services. Gordon Food Services are what delivers your foods to your favorite restaurants, whether it be Applebee's, Chewy's, or whatever. They used to make Applebee's. Is Applebee's still around?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Texas Roadhouse, whatever your favorite restaurant is, a company like Gordon Food Services delivers, including Cisco, Labatt. Those are the food service companies. Bluebell Ice Cream. Everyone knows about Bluebell. Bluebell is based out of Brenham, Texas. Did talk to the main guy at Bluebell this past week, and he says they are in need of drivers bad. So that's just a host of, that's just a small amount of the people that want. The most that you can make an hour is $32 an hour package. That is a crane company. The least you're going to make is $19 an hour. It just depends on what is best for you and your schedule. Next slide, please. So we are located in the city of Pflugerville. we're between a rock and a weird place, as they say it. But Pflugerville is very small business friendly. We are located at 100 West Pflugerville Parkway, Suite 111, Pflugerville, Texas, 78660. Our classroom is located here. That's where I am right now. Our pad, our driving range is located in Hutto, Texas. I'm not sure if some of y'all seen it, but it is very visible to those in Hutto coming down 685. So next slide, please. So how do you enroll into the school? So the first step is attending our CDL training program is to apply online. You go to our website, Changing Lanes CDL School.com. You fill out the admissions form or the short entry form, and it will be in contact with you to see if you've been accepted with further details. However, everyone is initially accepted, but we do have to ask qualifying questions, as such as DUI, when that's, if you had a DUI, if you have a felony, because some companies will not hire violent crimes or violent felonies, whether it be DV, domestic violence, or crimes against children. That's just a no-go. The companies do not want to deal with that. So but pretty much after that, everyone is accepted. Anyone can be a truck driver. I've had nurses quit the nursing field to become a truck driver because they just got wore out with it. Next slide, please. So what is your job assistance policy? So our job assistance policy provides job placement assistance services to every student who wants it while enrolled in school, as well as after graduation. Graduates can, and they have contacted the school for assistance in locating a job. They can avail themselves of the network that Changing Lanes CDL School taps in for a high quality local, regional, and national employers that are willing to hire Changing Lanes CDL School students. No school can guarantee a job, can guarantee a student a job. But we do our best efforts to get that. With my network, I'll make some phone calls, see if they're hiring, to see if they pretty much do a screening process. What do you want to do? Do you have kids? If you have kids or young kids, whether it be male or female student, I tend to say you probably want to stay home. You don't want to go over the road. Those that have empty nesters, they tend to go over the road. Those that are single tend to go over the road because they're travel. So my thing is travel while you can. I tell my students all the time, make sure you travel on someone else's dime, but make sure you're making money at the same time. So this gentleman right here is going to be traveling on someone else's dime pretty soon. So I had a student contact me this morning. He says he only has been to Texas. He lives in Texas. He lives in Austin. He's an Austinite, and he's the really only other state he's been in is Louisiana. So I said, "Where have you been now?" He says, "California." He said he's been all over. Just that in 4 months, he's been all over the United States, California, St. Louis, Chicago. He's in New Jersey right now. So it's travel. My thing is travel. Get out there and travel. Get out there and make money and have fun while you're doing it, but also be safe. Next slide, please. So what certifications do you offer? Changing Lanes, we are approved and regulated by the Texas Workforce Commission, TWC, the Career Schools and Colleges Division. I am a military veteran. We also accept military veterans. We accept high school graduates, GED, you name it. Like I pretty much say, everyone is accepted. And a career in truck driver might be right for you if you're tired of the same old, you just want to travel and make money while you're doing it. Next slide, please. So our hours are Monday through Friday is the weekday classes, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. with an hour lunch. That's 180 hours for 4 weeks. We're the only school that has Saturday and Sunday classes from 7 to 2. bring your own lunch. There is no lunch break. You have a lunch break while you're studying. Monday, we are implementing a night class from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. The only school that is doing that as well. However, we have little interest in the night class, but I still have it open just in case. Our most popular is the weekend because a person still needs to provide for their family while they're trying to transition to another career. So our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday by appointment, and Sunday closed. Next slide, please. So we have our guest speaker, former student alumni, guest speaker alumni. His name is Lem McElroy, but everyone calls him Lem. So without further ado, I will pass it along to him.
Hi, everybody. My name is, you just call me Lem. I prefer Lem. But, well, I was asked to see how CDL changed my life. Well, I mainly did it because, my papa do it. So it ain't always about the money, but you got to have a roof to live under. Bills got to get paid somehow, some way. So I enjoy doing it. I enjoy being in my own truck, traveling, no matter where I go. I just started with JB Hutt. They make sure you good. You want to do travel around, you can do their regional route, or you can do their over the road account. That's up to you. You want to be local, you can always go to their local account, rather it's a box truck, final mile. You can do their flatbed, but you got a forklift on the back. But it's still home every day with that too. Before I started with JB Hunt, I was with another job. They was good. My biggest check was, I want to say $3,450, $3,400. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to me because hey, that's a lot of money. But it is up to you though. You know what I'm saying? You gotta apply yourself. Like they say, you gotta listen. You gotta apply yourself. Work hard. Like that's with any job. You know what I'm saying? If you think you have to go to college, necessarily you don't. You can have you don't even have to have a business degree to be a truck driver. You can get your own LLC, get your own truck. You gotta take your time and apply yourself as well with that as well, because you gotta understand your truck is your business. So if you're gonna manage your money, let's just say like what my papa did, he taught me, he made $10,000 a week with his own truck. 5,000 went to his account, 5,000 went to his truck, which is his business account. So your truck break down, you can just put money like that. $5,000 went to your truck. You can keep it fixed, keep it rolling. Because you ain't rolling, you ain't making no money. You need money, trust me. And you will enjoy it, trust me. If it's for you, you can always, it's always something, rather it's flatbed, drive-in, reefer, it's all type of end dump, tankers, it's all type of transportation you can do. It's everywhere. We all over. But right now I'm doing intermodal, so I'm coming off the rail yard, and sometimes I might have to go to the shipyard. So it all determines on you and your motivation. It's very motivating. If you can if you're motivated enough to where you get your own business and you is able to make, $10,000 a week, you can push yourself even more. Like, hey, how many loads I need to make $20,000 a week? 10,000 go to your account, 10,000 go to your business account. You can be very successful. You can make six figures. I know people right now that's making over six figures right now that's in the trucking business, working for companies and also owner operator. All determines on you though. You got to make sure you strive. Like I said, you can learn business methods. I'm in the process of learning business methods now, how to negotiate, how to get loads on my own right now. So that way, when I do buy my own truck, I'll be making the same amount of money that my papa was making, $10,000 to $20,000 a week. Now, I know some of y'all like, that's a lot of money in my pocket. Hey, you gotta enjoy life the best way you can. That way you can take time off driving off the road to take a 2-week vacation because you know you and your family is provided, or you by yourself, you provided, and you can enjoy your life and don't have to worry. Because also, I know a guy that bought a house for $150,000. He just recently sold his house for $500,000, all for truck driver. So, but you gotta apply yourself. Women.
That's very good. Thank you, Lem. I'm going to ask you a couple questions if you don't mind answering some of them as they pop up. So you had said you were coming from a previous employer before, but how did you get to kind of CDL, becoming a driver?
Well, I went through TWC and I went through Changing Lanes. Like, you know, I had to apply myself at the school as well. I mean, everybody think, you know, truck driving is just truck driving, but there's more to it. And when especially like bagging up that trailer, right is left, left is right. You know, the truck following the trailer at that point, but it's all about the motivation and you.
Yes, I agree. And so do you typically work alone or with others?
That is all the term. I work alone. I prefer to work alone. I don't want to share a truck with nobody. I'd rather be asleep while the truck stop, not moving. If you know, if I pull over to take a nap. You can do team driving. Team driving do make more, but that's determined if you want to work with somebody or work alone.
Okay, very good options there. So what are some of your daily duties? Kind of like what time do you get up and start your job, and then what time you get off after that route, time you get home? What does that look like?
Well, with the job I have currently, I start at 6 in the morning. It's mainly a 10-hour shift. I do a regional route, so I'm going Sunday through Thursday, and I'm home Friday and Saturday. The last job I had, I worked overnights. I was driving a tanker, and I started at 6 p.m. and I didn't get off until between 6 a.m. or 9 a.m. So it all depends.
And what are your range for this role? What is the wage range?
The range, it depends what you do when it comes to that. Like, if you apply yourself and build your experience, you can make up to, I say, $32 an hour if it pays hourly. But if you pay by mileage or percentage rate, you got to push for those lows to make good money. So it's all on you in order to make the money. If you want to sit at home and be lazy, then you know you're just gonna have empty pockets.
Okay, next question is, what education level is required?
Just graduate high school, finish high school, you know, or get your GED. Just, you don't really have to have too much. As long as you get your high school diploma or get your GED, you can start driving trucks.
Wonderful, very good. And then what are the technical skills required? Like what would make somebody really good, and if they could thrive in these areas, they would be successful as a CDL driver?
For me was mainly just like a motivation, and you really need to know how to drive and the safety around you, because you got to understand you weigh between 20,000 and 79,000 pounds, and you on the road, you have other people in smaller vehicles around you. You got to watch out for their safety. Then when you bagging up to the docks, you really need to learn how to bag up, because you hit somebody else's equipment or trailer or truck, you got to pay for that. So you got to, it's best to learn how to back up, how to be more aware of your surroundings, and just be motivated every day.
Okay, that kind of leads into my next question too, like the standard skills and certification. So someone who, pays attention to detail, somebody who's careful and, definitely takes the time to learn those skills and master them before getting on the road. The certifications, would that be just the CDL certification?
Well, first you gotta get your permit. You gotta, study. make sure you get all that you need. Like for Texas, you got to do, I think it's general knowledge. Make sure you know general knowledge, combinations. Make sure you know air brakes, because all the trucks have air brakes now. And I think it's another one I'm forgetting. I want to say is special. Is it specialist?
Special requirements.
Special requirements. If you want to get your class A, you got to take combination with general knowledge, special requirements, and air brakes. So it's 4 tests for that. And then after that, you got to put in the work of learning the truck, respect the truck, because the second you start respecting that truck, you know, that's when you can get in a wreck,
Mhm.
you know, and also pre-trip is the biggest thing. But if you do not pre-trip, it will show, especially when DOT pull you over. If you want to pay a $5,000 fine, that's between you and the DOT office.
Yeah, I'm not too fond of no 5,000 or $500 fine. So I definitely feel you on that one. What is the most rewarding and most challenging part about your job?
The most challenging is, like I said before, is the people around you. You know, it really shows that a lot of people is more in a hurry and more worried about them than what's in front of them, you know, because they'll jump out in front of you. And like I said before, if you weighing 55,000 pounds, you're not gonna stop on the dime as if you was in a car. You know, you're gonna try to slow down. I guarantee you're gonna run whoever jump out in front of you over, because you know you just gotta watch around you. It's safety is the biggest challenge around, because there's a lot of people that's unsafe. But the rewarding part about it is once you get the load to where you're going, you get paid for dropping and hooking. Like if you drop the load off, you get paid for that. You get paid if it's a live load. It's just the reward is also making it home to your family as well. Cause it's, like I said, it's very a lot of unsafe drivers out there.
Yes, yes, that is true. So just being careful, as well as just you're saying us drivers, if we see an 18-wheeler or somebody pulling something, just be mindful of how we drive around them.
Yeah.
Okay. So you spoke a little bit about this career pathway. So I'll go ahead and go into our last question here that we have. What would you tell your 18-year-old self, kind of right before you get ready for graduation or right after? Something that you need.
I would have told them as soon as you graduate, you get your CDL. Mainly because if I would have started when I was 18, I would have already, right now, I would have already had my truck. Because starting young at 18, you got to think about you fresh out of high school, you go over the road, you know, you just saving your money. And as soon as you come back home, it's easy for you to invest, not only invest in stocks and everything, but also invest into just their livelihood. So that way you be set by the time you 25. You'll be set if you start at 18. You'll be set at a house, car, you know, just your livelihood by 25 when you start at 18. Like now, with my goal right now is by the time I'm 35, I'm gonna try to have 4 trucks and 4 people driving those trucks. That way I start my own small company. And at that point, I can be at home at 35, getting paid just to sit down while other people driving my trucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very smart thinking forward and not just kind of the next day to the next day. So very, very good information. Thank you so much for answering these questions for us and really just kind of going into your background and kind of your happiness at your current position and such. I do appreciate your feedback. I'm going to go ahead and move forward now, just kind of talking a little bit more about your classes and how often that they are available. Weekend, of course, is available with you guys, and then the total cost. Did you want to speak a little bit on this, Delbert?
Yeah, I will. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool.
I'm back. So classes do start every month. We've upgraded it to every first and third Monday of each month. So we have classes twice a month. Our next class is going to be Monday actually, and then after that we'll take a 3-week break for spring break as well. So our next class will be April the 4th. That's our weekday class. All endorsements are included. When we say all, the endorsements that we are able to provide are tanker and double triple. Double triple is what you said. I'm trying to see. We had a toy model. Tanker is milk, fuel, water truck on a construction site. Anything that's over 110 gallons in one container is you need a tanker endorsement. We do require our students to get tanker endorsements. A lot of people don't have tanker endorsements. However, tanker endorsements adds about $5,000 to your salary each year. So the triple double is what you see, the FedEx trucks with the 2 trailers, the 2 small short trailers, the pup trailers. The reason why they call them pups, because a pup is a puppy is a small version of a regular sized dog. So that's why we call them pup trailers. They're 28 feet long. That's why you have 2 of them. So those are doubles. And then in the West Coast, you see three pup trailers and 2 53-foot trailers together. We call it the road train. So our weekend classes, our next weekend class is probably gonna start in May. And the total cost, including tuition, fees, and supplies, is $39.50. We are the lowest cost in the Austin area within a 60-mile radius that is state and federally approved. Everyone else is higher or less training. So that's it.
All right. Thank you so much for being our guest speaker and talking. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about our upcoming events. But before I do, I want to go ahead and check the chat to see if there's any questions that we have. I know we have a couple of people on here from different districts. And of course, the program, we got American Youth Works on here, Pflugerville ISD, as well as I believe Maynard hopped in as well. So if you guys have any questions for Delbert and the CDL program that he is offering, feel free to go ahead and chat that into your question to the chat box and I can ask that, or you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask them directly. And Delbert, did you share your information on the chats just in case they wanted to get in contact with you, maybe your best email?
Yeah, you can get in contact either on Facebook at Changing Lanes CDL School, or you can call 512-598-9405. That is the office number.
Okay.
Email, I forgot email, Changing Lanes CDL School at Gmail. Name of the school, just at Gmail.
All right, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and allow them time to chat that in. And of course, you can go into the chat box as well and put that in. Let's see here. Everyone's thanking you. So we appreciate your presentation. I'm going to go ahead and start with announcements. And if those come in, we'll go ahead and circle back for that.
Jessica did ask how many students do I have in my cohort. I tend to have no more than 10 because simply because if you have 20 students in a classroom, you know, a lot of people are going to have questions or they're not going to get drive time. So the sweet spot is between 8 and 10. And yes, I am on the statewide eligible training provider list. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Delbert. And I just want to comment on that. Since you are on the eligible training provider list, customers or clients who are referred to Workforce Solutions and are qualified for our services can earn a voucher to take your training if you're on the ETPL. So that's always good to know if you have clients that you're referring to Workforce.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so upcoming events that we have, since we're going into the end of the semester and going into the summer, we do have our continued K-12 healthcare work group returning back in April. And then our next skilled trades work group will be in April as well. We have our pathways to middle skill jobs coming up. And of course, our tech work group, our very first new work group, is going to highlight over tech industries. And then we also have a couple of things coming up in the summer, our summer teacher externship and our teacher professional developments that Workforce Solutions offers to teachers and parent support specialists and counselors in the local districts. So our next K through 12 skilled trades work group webinar is going to be over the body collision as well as collision repair, and kind of just talking about automotive technicians and what do they do. So you can join us for this discussion with local body collisions and repair technicians to learn a little bit about how they got there, what that career pathway looks like, and kind of what is that occupation doing right now? How is it sitting in the capital area? Do we need more? What's the projection in the next 10 years? So be sure to join us for that. That's going to be April 14th from 9 a.m. Up until 10:30 a.m. unless we finish sooner. You guys can go ahead and register for that as well. And of course, send this out to any of your automotive teachers and students who are interested in this pathway. Special announcement is going to go out for our girls, our women in construction. Let's celebrate them. The NAWIC is hosting a camp this summer, and it's going to be in July. So July 18th through the 22nd. This is going to be catered to girls that are interested in trades, grades 6th through 9th. This is going to be a free summer camp. I repeat, free summer camp. And the students will learn the basics of carpentry, electrical, plumbing, and team building. Last year, they built some dog houses, bird houses, and they got a toolkit from Milwaukee, brand new toolkit. They also got some speakers from women in construction and kind of the industry, what it's looking like. It's going to be hosted in South Austin at the Texas Carpenters and Millwrights Training Center, which is in the 78741 area. It's all day, people. So we got 7:30 a.m. and we also have late pickup until 5 for just $10 extra a day because the whole summer camp is free. So why not, right? There is going to be food provided. So snacks and lunch will be provided daily. So it's really just a wonderful opportunity. Please forward this over to your 5th grade teachers to share with those newcomer 6th graders by the fall, and then your middle school teachers to share with your middle school students. So this is for girls only. Coming up to the summer, we have our externship opportunities. So if you're a teacher or counselor in some of the districts that we serve, Manor, Elgin, Pflugerville, Austin, and Del Valley, please join us for an externship opportunity happening this summer. We're offering in-person, virtual, hybrid. This is going to be a 3-day externship provided, from us to allow the teachers to go ahead and get that exposure and see what these employers are looking for. So they could take back that information into their students. Only thing that we ask is for a lesson plan so that way we can prepare the next year's students with these skills. And for your time, Workforce Solutions will be issuing out a $500 stipend for your participation. If you're an employer who is looking to host a teacher for our summer teacher externship, please check us out on our QR code and sign up. We would love to have one of our teachers check your business out and learn everything that you are offering at your business. And especially if you're hiring, we can go ahead and inspire and inform the next generation of our Austin skilled workforce. Please look at our career profiles on our Climb the Ladder CTX website. If you look at our resources, you can go to career planning. We have pretty much their career profile over every occupation. And I wanted to bring up these since we were highlighting truck drivers today. You can see it's a 2-pager. We have our truck driver annual wages. We have our hourly wages. So that way, for some of the students who don't understand, well, how much is hourly for somebody who makes $51,000 a year? And then of course, our education entry level, what the job duties will entail. You'll thrive in that position if you possess the following: how to get started in that career pathway, and then related jobs with the median salary. So we have this over every occupation that is in demand in the capital area, which is quite a few. So be sure to check those out and share those with your teachers, counselors, students. March 31st, at the end of this month, the city of Austin is going to be hosting their Youth Career Fest. So that's going to be from 9 a.m. to 12 at the Central Austin Library down on Cesar Chavez. So there's going to be tons of employers, a lot of students that are going to be looking out to see what their next career field could be, what they want to be when they grow up, exploring new and different things. I myself will be hosting or commencing the welcome speech to everybody. So if you want to see me in person, be sure to attend if you're not already. The ABC is hosting their construction career day April the 21st. It's actually going to be at the HEB Cedar Park Center. So this is going to be everything construction. So there are going to be tons of vendors looking to talk to your students. So please bust them over. Lunch will be provided with adult chaperones. So please just RSVP if you haven't already to see if they can maybe fit you in. The time is going to be from 9 a.m. to 2. It's going to be a wonderful event. The next one we have coming up is April 22nd. It's not ours, but I do want to just share what's locally happening around us. This is the Central Texas High School and College Transportation Student Career Fair. Now hold your breath and say all that in one sentence if you could. This is going to be from 10 a.m. to 1. So this is going to be Austin Auto Show at the Convention Center, but it also is going to be a career fair for students to learn all things in transportation. So automotive students, mechanical students, collision repair students, anybody who's really looking into kind of going into that career pathway. So just kind of looking to see kind of what their new entry level staff will be having. So be sure to check that out. If you have any additional questions or want something that you saw here today or have any other concerns that you want to reach out to us, please don't hesitate. The email of the best to catch us all is going to be the K-12 awareness at wfscapitalarea.com. You can connect with us on our Climb the Ladder CTX website where we have mostly everything posted. If you want some help with your resume or just to learn about different careers and trainings, you can email us at careerladder@wfscapitalarea.com. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube. This is where this video will be landed, so that way you can share it with your teachers and students and counselors. Our handle on YouTube is going to be WFS Capital Area. And then it's also going to be the same handle for our social media. So follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Our handle on those is WFS Capital Area. So I just want to thank you guys so much for attending. I really do appreciate you seeing the importance of this career pathway, and of course, just knowing and learning about everything that's happening in skilled trades. So my name is Stephanie Calderon. I'm the Career and Education Outreach Specialist with Workforce Solutions Capital Area. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm going to let you have about 40 minutes back on your time. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you, everybody.